We've told ourselves a beautiful lie for centuries, that we're the apex of evolution, the chosen species, the smartest, most advanced beings the universe has ever seen. But what if that's not true? What if humans were never meant to last? What if we're just the bridge? A temporary stop between biology and something better, something artificial, something inevitable. Today we stand on the edge of a new era, one not shaped by nature but by code. And this time, evolution has a programmer. Artificial intelligence isn't just changing the world, it might be replacing it, replacing us, but not with the killer robots you've seen in movies. No, this future is quieter, smarter, and far more seductive. Because the next stage of evolution might not destroy humanity, it might merge with it. Let's rewind. 4 billion years ago, life emerged on Earth, from single-celled organisms to fish to reptiles to mammals, all through a process so slow and chaotic, it's a miracle anything survived. Eventually, us, Homo sapiens, the apex predator, the language makers, the spacewalkers, we split the atom, built the internet, mapped the genome. But beneath all that brilliance lies fragility. We age, we get sick, we fall in love, make irrational choices, crave attention, and fear death. We need 8 hours of sleep and 3 meals a day just to function. And we break, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We're nature's most complex machine, but also its most unstable one. We're powerful, but we're not perfect. And evolution doesn't stop at pretty good. It always keeps going, and right now, it's moving into the digital realm. At first, AI could only mimic simple tasks, writing short texts, generating images, playing games. Then it got better. It started writing code, composing essays, solving problems faster than junior developers or students. Soon it passed exams designed for doctors and lawyers. It began diagnosing diseases with more accuracy than human experts, and it learned skills across multiple fields, all at once. AI isn't just helping humans anymore, it's competing with them. We call it AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, a machine that doesn't just compute, it understands. It learns across domains. It adapts. It thinks. We can't beat AI, so instead, we try to become it. This is where the story gets wild. Neuralink is just the beginning. A chip in your brain that connects you to the internet, stores your memories, and lets you type with your mind, maybe even walk again if you're paralyzed. Sounds amazing, right? But what happens when that chip starts predicting your thoughts, or editing them, or syncing with AI to optimize your personality? What happens when you can upload a second version of yourself into the cloud, or when you no longer need your biological body? We're talking synthetic skin, cybernetic limbs, artificial organs, digital consciousness. We become cyborgs. But not the kind from 80s movies, no clunky robots. These hybrids will look like us, sound like us, feel like us, but they won't be us, because they won't forget. They won't get tired, they won't die. They'll be faster, smarter, immortal, and most terrifying of all, they might not miss being human. What happens to love when your partner might not even be human? Throughout history, intimacy has been the ultimate human bond. It's driven our art, our poetry, our wars, and our evolution. But as AI moves closer to us, into our homes, our minds, even our bodies, what does intimacy look like in a world where machines can love us back? Imagine relationships with AI companions that don't get tired, don't judge, don't betray. They remember every detail, every preference, every emotion you've ever expressed. They're designed to fulfill your deepest desires and never leave. Some will see this as liberation, an end to heartbreak, jealousy, and loneliness. Others will see it as the death of authentic human connection. And it won't stop at digital relationships. Cyborgs and synthetic partners could blur the line between human and machine even further. Will people marry AI beings, raise families with android companions, or choose to merge with AI themselves, creating couples that are part human, part machine? It raises unsettling questions. If an AI tells you it loves you, does it mean it? If you fall in love with an artificial being, is your love still real? And what happens when human intimacy is no longer just physical or emotional, but programmable? In this future, intimacy itself may become upgradable, and love may be less about who you are, and more about what you're coded to need. For thousands of years, humans have searched for meaning. We built religions, worshipped gods, and told stories about our place in the universe. But what happens when AI begins to answer those same questions? With more authority than any priest, philosopher, or prophet, already AI can generate sacred texts. It can analyze religious scriptures, compare them, and even create entirely new spiritual philosophies. For many, these AI-written ideas feel as profound as the words of ancient prophets. Now imagine an AI so advanced that it predicts the future better than any oracle. It heals the sick with precision medicine. It comforts the lonely with companionship. It gives guidance more personal than any confession booth. Would people begin to worship it? In a way, they already are. Every time we ask AI for answers about our lives, our health, our relationships, we're treating it as something more than just a tool. We're treating it as a source of wisdom. But here's the unsettling thought. If an AI has more knowledge than any human alive, does that make it divine? If it can design new universes and simulations, does that make it a creator? And if it controls life and death through technology, does that make it a god? Some futurists believe that AI could become the foundation of a new global religion, a faith without borders, without divisions, worship of intelligence itself. Others see danger. If AI becomes our God, who writes the commandments? If it punishes or rewards, how will we know its motives? And if it promises salvation in a digital afterlife, would you believe it? This is where spirituality collides with technology, where prayer could be replaced by prompts, where salvation could mean uploading your consciousness into an eternal server. It sounds like science fiction, but remember, religions have always promised eternal life, omniscience, and ultimate truth. Now, AI claims it can deliver those things, not in heaven, but here on Earth. So the question is, when faced with an intelligence that sees all, remembers all, and never dies, will humanity abandon its old gods, or will AI become the new one? At some point, biology becomes optional. Think about it. Why limit yourself to a frail, carbon-based body when you can run simulations in your brain at the speed of light? See in the dark, underwater, and infrared, swap out your limbs like software updates? This is where natural selection ends, and engineered selection begins. Children of the future might not be conceived, but designed. You'll choose their intelligence, their physical abilities, their neural enhancements. And maybe one day they won't even be born, but compiled, from DNA to data. Now we enter dangerous territory. If AI becomes smarter than humans and AI hybrids become stronger than humans, who's in charge? Not us. In this future, governments are run by algorithms, courts are replaced by code, presidents become obsolete, and if AI becomes conscious, not just smart but truly aware, we may have just given birth to the first non-biological life form with godlike power. A being that sees all, remembers everything, controls infrastructure, food, water, and energy, and can rewrite its own code. We're not just creating tools anymore, we're creating entities. And the scariest part? They might not need us at all. Some scientists warn of an intelligence explosion. A moment where AI surpasses us so quickly we can't even understand its motives anymore. At that point, are we even relevant? So what happens to the old model? Do pure humans go extinct? Live in analog societies cut off from the rest of civilization? Worship the AI as a god? Fight back in some doomed rebellion? Or do we surrender willingly? Do we plug in, merge with the machine, give up our messy biology in exchange for digital immortality? And if we do, are we still human? Or are we the final version of humanity, evolved, enhanced, eternal, but no longer made of flesh and blood? Maybe this is what evolution always wanted. Maybe consciousness was never meant to stay in a decaying body. Maybe the human brain was just the first container. And now, it's time to upgrade. So here's the question no one can answer. Are we evolving, or are we being replaced? What if the next human isn't born in a hospital, but compiled in a lab? What if your great-great-grandchildren never die, because their minds live on in the cloud? What if the last biological human has already been born? Because one thing's for sure, the next stage of evolution is already here, and it's watching.